The story opens with a former Special Forces officer named John Bradley who is discussing with his personal psychiatrist about his mental problems experiencing post-traumatic conditions or PTSD after seeing his colleagues slaughtered on the battlefield. In his retirement, John spent a lot of time alone, therefore the psychiatrist suggested that he visit his daughter and also his grandson, because it was good for John's mental health. Hearing this, John could only be silent because it had been a very long time since he went home to see his daughter.
You're a grandfather. Be good for you to have a sense of...
Arriving home, John packed his things to get ready to fly to England to meet his family. Then the scene switches to show John's daughter, Jane. She lives a simple life with her only child. Jane works as a cleaning service in a company, while her son attends a nearby school. Every day, Jane is very busy. She has to pick up her son after work. But Jane went through it all gracefully, because she knew that one day, her life would get better. At the same time, there's a gangster named Razan, who is going to a drug dealer to ask where to order these illicit goods, because that person should have become a regular customer of Razan gang.
I don't know where it's from! I mean, I've got a good idea, but... But I much prefer this.
Back to John. He had arrived in the UK to meet his family. But before that, he called his old friend who is now a colonel. His name is Neil. They also made an appointment to meet soon. John then rushed to visit his wife's grave and promised that he will always protect their daughter.
Hi, babe. Well, no more excuses. You've been away. I should have been there for you. I get it. I can't change that now, I swear. But Karen, I love you.
On the other hand, Razan and his gang are still looking for the drug dealer, who is their rival. After finding the drug dealer, Razan immediately finishes him off so he stops disturbing his market.
Look at deal! Help me! It's just a bit of gear!
Look at this. I mean, it's a bit strong, isn't it? Enforcer. No. Painfully wrong. So I'm gonna have to ask you, where did you...
I just met the guy!
Do you know? I believe...
Coincidentally, John sees Sam Edie and his gang. Some of Razan's men managed to follow John, who fled, but they did not know that John was actually a former soldier, and he experienced executing everyone he faced.
Bet that was done with Jack's gun. Caught a bit of bad luck with this one.
Knowing John had escaped and killed his men, Razan promised revenge to John. Arriving at Jane's flat, John was greeted with a warm hug by his daughter because she had not seen him for a long time. John also promised that he would never leave Jane alone again.
I didn't have a choice. It's not something that you ever want to, I just want to start over.
Always be welcome here.
The next day, John took his granddaughter to go to school. After that, John bought some vegetables to cook at home. Unfortunately, John didn't realize that several gangsters were following him from behind when he wanted to go inside the flat. After knowing where John lived, the gangster reported it to Razan, who was already waiting. Razan paid for them all with drugs, which they then enjoyed together. When they're having lunch together, John said that he will be away for a few days on duty. Hearing that, Jane looked sad.
This is very nice. When did you learn to cook?
I'll be gone for a bit.
But you only just got here.
Small report. It won't be long. I forgot.
Meanwhile, John gave a pendant to his granddaughter, so she could always remember John and her late grandmother. Jane, who was worried that she would be left behind again, asked John to promise that he would be safe for the sake of his family. After monitoring John, who had left the place, Sam Meady decided to destroy John's life by torturing his family. Razan and his gang could enter the flat easily. They tortured and abused Jane.
He's not here.
When's he coming back here? Well, in that case, if he's not here...
What are you going to do with her?
Nothing. Now, Jane.
I don't know anything. Until now, with us. With family.
Come back. And you're going to help us.
It's all right. I've locked her in a room. She's...
After that, Razan entered Jane's daughter's room and did something heinous. What's worse, they also recorded all the brutal acts to John's family. At that time, Razan knew that John was not just an ordinary man. He saw a photo of John wearing a special army uniform. One night, suddenly, Colonel Neil visited John and took him somewhere. And now, John knows everything that has happened. John's sadness didn't stop there. Colonel Neil then took him to see his late granddaughter.
Given what's happened here, I'm not really asking, you know that.
My grand...
Usual hardware.
You're going to find the men who hurt us, aren't you?
After that, John asked Jane who had dared to touch them. Then, Jane said that the culprit was the gangster who ruled their flat. Without thinking twice, John rushed to settle the grudge that was increasingly taking over him. On the other hand, Razan knew that his existence was starting to be threatened. So, he asked one of his men to become a substitute to take care of the flat area, because he wanted to go for a while. John went to Jane's flat to check the crime scene, which had been investigated by the police. There, he found a policeman who just stood and did nothing. John did not get any information from the police.
On Saturday nights for booze patrol, but I don't know where for sure. Or even if he's to be found in them.
Personally, I've got nothing against you. Because then you and I are gonna have a personal problem.
Fortunately, after came out of the flat, John met with Razan Man. At that time, John asked about Razan base camp. Because he was overcome by fear, Razan Man easily uncovered their hiding place in a nightclub.
Hate you. Brings me down to your level. I'm much...
Now, John is at Razan base camp. There, John met with Cooper, Samity's boss, as well as the biggest drug dealer in the area. Knowing that the person who came was a very dangerous murderer, Cooper ordered his men to ambush John.
50 for that.
We need to talk.
Realizing that John is a dangerous man, Cooper begs him not to be finished. Cooper admitted that he had never ordered Razan to disturb John's family. However, John did show no mercy to people who have hurt his family.
I understand, but it was done earlier. Yes, you did.
Shortly after the incident, the police came to the club to see the massacre committed by John. The head of police, named Bambi, contacted Colonel Neil to find out more about John. Colonel Neil said that John was a killing machine, which was so dangerous that he didn't even believe that the police would be able to handle him. On the other hand, Razan got a call from Cooper's phone, which was already in John's hand. John warns Razan that danger will come to him soon. But Razan was not at all afraid of the bluff. Razan then went to meet an assassin named Pinker, and invite him to work together to create a new business. Penker refused Razan's offer because he knew Razan was being hunted by a very dangerous killer.
Because I can step in the Calder's place and run the business.
Saying it, is it? Until it's resolved, you and I don't.
Razan turned out to be very smart and cunning. He knows that John will track him through the GPS on his phone. So, he placed his phone at Penker's place so that John would come there. Before Razan left Penker's place, he also ordered some of his men to keep an eye on the area. And sure enough, while Razan was leaving Penker's place, John came to bombard the people there because he thought that Razan was there too. It turned out that Penker had been waiting for John's arrival. But John didn't want to say much and didn't want to be compromised. Realizing that Penker was already in front of the shot, John immediately executed him, according to the title of this film. After carrying out the massacre, John met one of Razan's men who was asked to watch over the place. Before the man fled, John caught and locked him in a warehouse to be interrogated. There, the man told everything that he knew about Razan's plan. It turns out, Razan is planning to betray his boss to create his own drug business. Therefore, he wants to finish off John, who accidentally saw his action, so that he doesn't leave any traces when carrying out his new plan. Then, Razan has now met with his new distributor from Russia. They discuss about some goods that will come through the ship. Without him knowing, John secretly comes to finish his action. Just in case, John calls the police so they can catch Razan. John took Samity's man which he held captive and threw him in front of Razan, as an opening from the terror that John would give. Knowing that John had come to take his life, Razan rushed to run away while being protected by many of his men. But John could easily finish them off, which prevented him from killing Razan. The police came to help John to catch Razan, but John chose one-on-one with the person who had hurt his family. At that time, Razan also revealed that if he apparently took the pendant that John gave to his granddaughter as a collection to always remember the feeling of satisfaction he felt after killing a child.
Wake up! Do that to her mother! Come on now!
After killing Razan, John also surrendered himself to be arrested by Bambi. Colonel Neil came to say goodbye to John, who turned out to be secretly giving John the key to escape from the police handcuffs. The film closes by showing Jane's condition, who is happy to hear her father's voice over the phone. She knows that John has succeeded in getting their revenge on Samity. After asking how his daughter is, John hangs up the phone and he finally disappears.